if I remember, I think you had purchased Loyal Taxi was purchased in 2003, took over in 2004, and
The
then
first purchase was 2002 in February 1st,
yeah,
2002.
and then I think that if I recall correctly, in '05 you had your partner and you guys broke off.
He tried to play games like like partnership. Sometimes I don't support it. Not necessarily that everybody is bad, but it turned to be like the partnership wasn't the right partnership.
And then I think it ended up by going towards court, trustees. You weren't sure, you were worried. And I remember you told me a story. You said, I remember your mom is one, you know, I was saying that, can you believe how big together we've built the Loyal Group? And I've been able to transform it into one of the most powerhouses in the province of Quebec. And I remember a story you were telling me. You said your mom is one of the main reasons why we were able to be in this position. I said, but what do you mean? And you said, well, when we were going to court, I was like, I have to open the restaurant, got to go work, got to go to court. I don't know if I have the energy for this, and the patience and the spending and the heartache that it put me through. And you told me your mom looked at me and said, George, you're not going to give up. You're going to go and you're going to fight every single day because this is your right and you're going to win.
Not just about right, because I was accused of stealing money. She wanted to prove the right is no. It's because back home in traditional wise, when somebody like stealing, it's a big word. Somebody accuse you with stealing, so it's like pride, your name, your family, like something it doesn't pass like normal when you say something like that. She said no, you have to go to court, you have to fight to prove, even if we have to sell everything again, just to prove a point that you are innocent and he's the guilty one. And unfortunately, that's the fact. It happened that I turned to be innocent and he's the guilty. And here we are today because of honesty and rights and support of your mom, definitely. And he's out. He's from the history, if you want to call it.
And it's crazy because if you remember, when I was younger, so one of the main reasons is the perseverance and the resilience that to fight and never stop with you. Uh, I grew up watching you, and a lot of people, like I've said in the past, when I was in high school, everybody knows how I was always suspended, always in trouble, and they would say your eyes light up like stars when you talk about your dad. And what people don't understand is you mean literally the world to me. Like there is nobody more important. I consider my relationship more valuable to me between me and you than between me and my daughters, me and my wife, me and my mom, my brother. You are how I breathe life. And the reasoning is I saw the struggle and I remember, just before we won, if you remember, we broke my piggy bank and counted penny by penny, quarter by quarter, dollar by dollar to make sure that we get to the last finish line and we won. Well, you won. I was still maybe like 9 years old or 10 years old. And seeing you willing to fight all the way down, and I remember I'd come down, you'd get us ready sometimes when before we'd go to school, and you would be practicing at night for court, and then before you would take us, you'd be practicing in court, you'd drop us off in school, go to the courthouse, uh, have your litigation for the business, then come home, take your suit off, put your jeans on, go
Absolutely.
back to Reynolds,
Yeah.
and then you would run Reynolds restaurant until midnight or 11 o'clock ish, midnight, depending on the day. Come back home, prepare a little bit, take a shower, maybe grab something to eat quick, and then maybe be bed by 1 a.m. only to wake up again by 6 a.m. or whatever it is. And then you would be practicing and getting ready to go again. And we did that every single year
We
for.
did it between January 2005 till December 2008, like back to back.
So the Christmas gift in 2009 was the
It
victory.
was actually in 2008 Christmas gift because I took over like December 9. Actually, when I won the court case, it was December 9, 2008.
And I believe that just set the tone that when you come after us, that we're never going to back down. And that's what you taught me. And that's what I saw. And you coming out as the victor, the person that won, it allowed me to know that if you're willing to put in the work and you're willing to risk it all and you're willing to fight for it, you can come out on top. And that's why today, that what you've embodied in my values is that you I believe that I'm unbreakable. You might maybe bend me a little bit, but you can never break me. And the reason why is because of what I saw you do growing up, day in and day out, working, being consistent, being resilient. And discipline is a big word that you use. I was very undisciplined at school, but very disciplined in business. So, I mean,
That's
it's
why even when I mentioned, like, I hope the teachers one day when we speak always, I repeat that, and I already repeated. I hope your teachers will watch this, especially this episode.
well, you're right, because a lot of those teachers would look at me and think I would never amount to anything. And today, the Loyal Group employs over 250 people in the city of Gatineau. Portfolios growing, investments, construction,
And it's only the
commercial,
beginning.
residential, transportation powerhouse, uh, uh, teams in Vietnam, and now a podcast. And the reason why I opened this podcast is because I want to highlight the success of other entrepreneurs. And I want people to know that it's possible. And I want people to know that you can achieve success if you're willing to work. And a lot of people want success nowadays, but don't want to work.
Exactly.
A lot of people want to have a job, sit at home, work from home, do nothing, and just say, I'm successful. And that to me is the problem in today's society. And then people complain that there's no more opportunity. But my uncle told you when you arrived that there was no more opportunity. So if you would have listened to him, you wouldn't be where you are today.
Yeah, I remember that. Really, I always repeat it because people, when they ask me, what do you think to come to Canada? I tell them that's what I've been told. You came in at the end of, like they call it back in the days, like they use the term as like at the end of the racing, in horse racing. So you came in at the end of the horse racing. So there is nothing left. So I don't know what to tell, but I always encourage the new generation. No, don't let anything discourage you, and don't look behind. Work hard, put the hours. It will pay back. It always will pay back. Get up early in the morning and do it again.
Do you believe in balance, George? Like, can you be a great dad, a great husband, a great entrepreneur, healthy, gym, bodybuilding, traveler, enjoy life? Like, how do you feel? A lot of
No,
people want to achieve this perfect
it's
balance.
not easy, Alec. It's not easy. No, no, no. Somebody gotta sacrifice. Back in my days with your mom, we did sacrifice a lot. Honestly, we did sacrifice a lot. People used to go to Vegas and Florida. We used to work every day, and whenever I remember very well, especially when we had Reynolds, every long weekend we used to hire a contractor, just demolish this and that, and like give it a facelift, trying to support the business. So we never took any long weekend for ourselves. No, like it doesn't work like that. Somebody in the family has to sacrifice. Back then, me and your mom, we sacrificed a lot, and that's where we are right now. Now maybe I don't want to say it's easy, but maybe a little bit easier on you because you have a little bit of structure to move forward, but still you have to sacrifice.
George's favorite word for whoever is listening, it's the khamiri.
The khamire, yeah,
Yes.
yeah,
So that means for people listening, the foundation, if we want to
yeah.
put it that way. Um, and I want to say, being self-built and not being self-built come with two different struggles. Being self-built, the key word that you taught me in Arabic, when you've set you're self-made and you've built yourself, what's that word?
Osami,
Was
Osami, yeah, that's a big word for a lot of, like I'm sure a lot of people know it, but for a lot of people they don't achieve it and admire it. They don't know what the meaning of Osami. You start from scratch. Like I told you, I used to sell gas back home in the 1990. I used to buy some at price or whatever just to go sell it to make extra like pennies, if you want to call it. So yes, like you said, there is a price for everything in life.
Do you feel like you've paid a price, and what is the price?
For what I achieved, time, I paid time. Yes, health, I was sick for a bit because, hard work, but it comes with the territory. Like nothing comes easy again. No, I did achieve. I can't complain. I did achieve.
And what is the hardest moment that you had to live in your life?
There
If
is
you can
several.
pinpoint a moment that it
There
hurt the
is
most, but
several
if there's more
moments.
than one, go
Yeah.
for it. But
If I remember, I remember very well. I was 16 years in Canada. Like I never went back there, and at age 49, my mom passed away.
she was 49.
Yeah, she was 49, like very young. And when I left, she did ask me, I remember very well, December 23, 1999, please stay Christmas with me. 2 days more than go to Canada. I insist, and I left. That's something like, I don't want to say I regret it. I didn't know that this is how it's going to end up her life. I figured like life is ahead of us and like we're going to enjoy several Christmas nights together. But unfortunately, you can't predict the future, but you can prepare yourself for the future. So my biggest loss was my mom back then. And my second loss, also my dad, 2019, also when he passed away. And it was like his dream that he was almost going to accomplish when I built a small house for him. And I was doing my legacy house that also he wanted me to do, him and his father, which is my grandpa Bashir, which has turned to be very successful and very beautiful legacy. Everybody's talking about it now. From my dad was like a police officer, used to make peanuts in their wages, to a person that built all this mansion, and from 200 square meter land to 6,000 square meter land right now, which is I achieved after I repurchased what they sold to survive in the war, because they had to bring some bread on the table. So there was no work, nothing. So they had to sell those lands, which is I did rebuy them again.
So the lands that are my grandpa or and his siblings or my
Yeah.
grandpa had to sell off to survive,
Yes. Yes.
you've been able to go back and try to gather back the lands
Yes.
that were
That's
lost in our
exactly
family.
that's
Yeah.
exactly what did, which is the last one I bought like a year ago. But we go back to the sad moments. Like I said, time again. This is on in general, but when it comes to myself, I was diagnosed in cancer in 2012, which is, thanks God, now I'm in remission. I'm healthy. Uh, it was like a hit. I cannot deny that it was a hit. When I was in Lebanon, I came back and the result was waiting for me. It was tough. That was a big hit also, but also didn't stop me. I kept like the first couple of weeks. It was tough. I stayed in the bedroom almost alone, especially when the immune system was low. But I did fight for it. 2015 also was a rough
And
moment.
that, just so you know, you probably don't know this stuff, but I remember when you did have cancer, I had it the hardest because my life, he's sick, and what do I do? And I think I was like 17 or 18 years old when that was happening. I remember I was parked on a red light. I got goosebumps talking about it. I was with Ali Shama, and we were somebody beeped or I don't know what, and because I didn't go on the light, and I was not driving on the green light because I was in the cloud, and I was thinking about like, why is it not fair? My dad's sick, he shouldn't be sick. It's not fair, when you're young and don't understand. And then somebody kept beeping, and he started yelling at me. I remember I came out of the car and I punched the guy's hood because I was so angry. And then Ali told me to get back in the car and like just call it a day and let's just go and continue where we're going. And I remember that moment I released that anger because I think that sometimes people are over stressing things that are not important and not stressing enough things that are important. And it's like, so what if you missed the red light? Like, it's not like you were in Arabic we say "مش رايح تعطي دم."
Yeah, yeah.
So you're not
Why
going to
you in
give
a
blood.
hurry?
What's the hurry? Like, okay, I made a mistake. Whatever. Just give me a quick beep and I'll go. It's not the end of the world. I'm dealing with potentially losing my father at 17, 18 years old. I think that for me, those moments are very hard. And I was so worried of how can I continue my life without my dad. And I know today I always say my biggest thing is I wish I die before you because I
Well,
don't want to be in a world without you in it.
you see, too bad that I put you in that experience. And again, we did it in 2015 when I had the accident in Wayal, when the door came down and almost I lost my ankle completely. It was like shattered in pieces. I remember very well. You had to, which is when we suffer. That's another hit. Also, we can call it we suffer. The business actually suffer, and when we say the business, because we run it heart and soul, it was a matter also like we took it personal because I was in the hospital for a year and a half, and you had to cover for everybody, and you were still young, and as we always mention, like now I build it from scratch and all the portfolio. Now I put it on your back. So it's two times harder and difficult to keep looking forward and move forward this portfolio and at the same time to protect it.
Well, to be honest, I think that's one of the biggest things. Like I said, I think being somebody that starts from nothing and being the one in your family that builds the first generational wealth, uh, it comes with a stress that's very important because you want to not fail. But I think also being the one that gets handed the ball and you're told don't drop the ball now. You know, like in football, when you get the running back gets the ball, don't fumble it. We say it's an expression. And me having that stress of everything my father has sacrificed over the last 50 years of his life to get to where he is today. Can you imagine if I'm the one that messes it all up? So not only that you don't want to mess it up, you want to maintain it, but you also don't want to be the one that just is surfing on the boat that your dad put you on. So now you want to build and you want
No,
to go
no,
to the
Alex, you
next
doing,
level.
you're not surfing on the boat. Like I know, especially in our community, say, oh, he's lucky, he got a gold spoon, like from his father. No, you did put a lot of effort, lots of hours, lots of responsibility. You sacrificed a lot of good time with your friends, traveling with the family. No, I see that. But like in the old days, they used to say in every example, every 100 years, it will repeat. Like they say in Canada, every 10 years there's a recession, unfortunately. But in our circumstances between you and me, I remember from our culture and the past of my family as a history, I remember very well between my grandpa's father back in the days was something important. He used to be a preach. They call him in Arabic. What was the word?
Sheikh.
Sheikh Salah. Yeah, you're right. Good. See, now you are supporting me. Yeah, these call when you used to call Sheikh Salah, which is like a preacher of the village, like it was something big. So between that time and my time, I'm the second one after him. So after 100 years, which is it's true. But between you and me, there is no 100 years. So now I'm in a debate between that phrase: is it every 100 years, or what's happening, or the generation is different nowadays?
Well, I think it's also on maybe not necessarily just over time, but I think the man that you are, it turns the man that I will be, and I'm following in your footsteps, following in your examples, and I think that that is why, maybe now what you're doing in the village and where we are in the industry, we kind of live it into both ways. Sometimes people have a hard time accepting
Tough, shit,
the
tough,
change.
tough shit for them because you know what? If they put the effort together, everybody can reach out. Maybe not everybody, but don't look and say, lucky him, he has this, he has that. But they should know what was behind that. When I was getting up in the morning and you were getting up in the morning, or your mom, everybody get up in the morning, like 5 in the morning, 4 in the morning, people were still dreaming. So they
Yeah.
got to look at that too.
Well, I say though that I cannot be outworked, and that comes from the work ethic that I got from my parents. And
Yeah, me and your mom were like very stubborn. Like she opened and closed, like we never blinked for nobody.
well, that's why I say that in an homage style, because growing up, I got to see all the things you said. Like I could tell the story, like I lived it, because I got to see, my mom sacrifice her weekends, open the restaurant at 5 a.m., being with you in the evening. If we would close, open for a party, she'd do a double shift. Whether we would go check out on our properties after we worked all day, and I'm calling you a workaholic because you never got bored. Uh, Seeing that
Yeah, you remember
every
that story
single,
when we went to the plaza
yeah,
after working all day? Like it was very busy day at the
I think
restaurant.
we had done like 12, 14 hours. For me, I was
Yeah,
there with mom. I got there at 5 a.m. and you wanted to keep going and keep going
yeah.
and keep going.
Then normally kids like back days, like in age like 10, 11, they say to their parents, especially their father, Dad, you are alcoholic. I remember I repeat that story. You were so tired and like, Dad, why you are so mean? You are so workaholic. I still tell that story.
Well, and that's what you've embodied in me, Dad. And I hope that one day I will embody that in my kids, is to know that anybody that wants anything, what I learned from my dad is work, 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 work. You're a little bit better, but not where you want to be. Work, 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 but you're a little bit better, but not where you want to be. And if you stay consistent in doing that, at some point you turn around and you turn on the lights and boom, you're like, holy shit, I'm there. You're there because you worked, 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 even when you didn't get anything. And you showed up the next week and did it again and didn't really get much and did it again and again and again. Sometimes people fall short, sometimes they don't, but the ones that keep on going, the successful people, is sometimes that one person that did it one more time, and that extra time is the time that it worked. And that's what I think was a driver for us. And I like what you said, because a lot of time we're perceived in certain communities as Mount Everest or the sharks or whatnot, and uh, they don't know what's the inside. They just see the outside, and they don't know the hardship, the hard work, the health sacrifices, the family, the time.
They are not there like where you are right now. That's why they are the outside, not the inside. So, because if they did live and sacrifice and reach and accomplish where we are right now, definitely they will be the insider, like as a story, instead of being the outsider. So I don't blame them. Although this is the reality. This is the culture and the community and society, if you want to call it. That's how people are built. They always look at people like other people, like that example. Like when you are walking, you see somebody on a bicycle, turn around, say like, I wish I have that bicycle, and it keep rolling. Oh, I see another person with a car, I wish that car is mine, yada yada. So my advice to you, I repeat again, like family is very important. Where we reach, thanks God, but don't stop, don't give up, and your word, as you always say, like sky or infinity is my limit.
Well, yeah, because I know that no matter how much we've achieved, I always tell you, Dad, this is not enough, and I'm gonna do more, and I'm gonna outwork you even to the point where my objective is to reach a whole other level. And I know that you support me a lot, because I know that we both dream of something called generational wealth, where we build something that the kids could eat from. And I know that that's the one thing. And I know that a lot of people see this great conversation, but don't know that me and you have argued and fought maybe thousands and thousands of times and thrown things. Actually, when I wouldn't be paying attention, you would just grab something and throw it at me. And then I would just like, and you would tell me, that's why you got to stay
The
sharp
hard
on your
way.
feet,
The
the
hard
hard
way.
way, right? And that's kind of how I want to raise my children, a little bit in the hardship and the hard way, because when you work hard, you'll know the value. I don't know if you remember the story, but the first time I paid someone, like today, I'm the CEO of 250 people almost that depend on us day in and day out. But if you go back, the first time I paid someone was in Reynolds, and you said, remember the value. You're 16, or I think 17 years old. You're giving a 50-year-old man a paycheck. Don't take that for granted. And I remember my mom, I told her I wanted to be the guy that counts the money and plays with the money. And she brought me to the toilet bowls and made me clean toilet bowls. So I think that me living these hardships, I think, is what allows me to want to continue. And that's why I typically say, don't come after my business, because I will, in a very fair and nice way, I will obliterate your business, because my dad sacrificed blood and tears, and my mom blood and tears and time, and you will never take it. I remember one time I was with the owner of one of the taxi companies. His name is Tony, and we were at a safety, and we were in Hall. We were doing an inspection for a car, and I don't know if you know the story. And I told him, "You should just sell." And he laughed. I remember he has this thing where he looks at you from like he's something special. And I was still young. I think I was like 2015ish, 16ish. I don't remember. And I said, you should sell. And he said, like, what's this young guy telling me sell? Like, who's this young guy? I said, because you'll never beat me. Because you do it for money. I do it to secure my dad's legacy. And then for some money. Obviously, we're all in it to make profits. It's a business. But I said, that you can't beat me, because I will never let you take something I built. And I think today's, looking down the future 6, 7, 8 years later, we have become the dominant force of the region, because I don't know if he remembers that story. And if he's listening in, cool for him, he'll remember the story. But you can't be beat, and I can't be beat, because we're willing to put in 15 hours a day. And if you work 15 hours a day, well, I'll put 16. And if you put 16, I'll
It's
put
true
17. And
because
I'll always outwork you.
I remember very well now. Now we brought this subject about the other competitor. When you went to purchase Mont Tremblant location, I remember we didn't speak about this one here. Like it's 2 hours drive from here there, and I remember I telling you like, how are we gonna get there? Like how are we gonna run it? How are we gonna like, what are you trying to do? And you said to me that don't worry about it, I'll take care of it. And like today, it still exists. It's running, and we own a location in a very important city also
Yeah.
in Mont
Yeah.
Tremblant.
Well, don't forget, when I started in 2011, we had about 19, 20 people. Now we're at 250.
Yeah.
And we're only getting started, like I always say. So Well, it's funny if somebody's listening and they want to compete against me, what would you recommend to them if they're going to compete against me?
Because you ask me now, I'm going to have to answer. I will tell them, don't waste your time.
I love it. I love it.